Hi, everybody. My name is Jared Barbosa. I'll be your instructor today. Usually I'm showing up on camera, but we're having some technical difficulties with the camera. But it's okay because we're doing a tutorial in Silhouette Studio today, which I love. I am personally, I've been a Silhouette user for the past 4 years or so. So today we're going to be showing you some cool things in Silhouette Studio. Now, this tutorial is going to be specifically geared towards beginners and kind of intermediates in Silhouette Studio who want to create their own designs. There's several reasons why you want to do that. And you have to start somewhere. You know, there's lots in the Silhouette store. You can, if you have cool designs, you could sell them, you could make money off of them. Or maybe you just don't want to pay for a graphic that you could very well make yourself, save a little money. And then the graphic is yours. That's another thing, you own it completely, which I think is really, really cool. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get started. The first thing we're gonna do in our tutorial today is we're gonna go ahead and make some toilet paper. Now, one thing that I think the biggest takeaway from today is that everything you see is made up of different shapes. So if you wanna know what shapes we're starting today's tutorial with for the toilet paper roll, it's gonna be an oval and a rectangle. That's how we're making our toilet paper roll. And this is one thing, again, I think this is the biggest thing that you can get from this is that everything is just made up of really simple shapes, and using your editing tools, you can make these simple shapes into things that are really, really cool. And again, you can make them your own. You don't have to buy them or anything like that. You can just make them. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Now, if you're super new, on here on the left, this is my shapes tool or drawing tools. So you can see you could select your squares, draw a rectangle, draw a rounded, ellipse, regular polygon. Anyway, so we're going to start with this. Now we're going to give our, because toilet paper rolls are circle if you're looking at them straight from the top, but we want to give a little perspective. So I drew an oval. So the first thing I'm going to do is, this is my select tool. I'm going to draw, you see how I just click and drag, right? I'm going to select both of these, and I like to fill them in. It just makes things easier to deal with. I'm also going to click this one. I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste. All right. We've got a couple things to show you guys, and I don't want to take up too much of anyone's time. So this is the top and the bottom of our toilet paper roll, and this is going to be our waving sheet. And one thing that you'll notice is this one is behind this one, right? And it's on top of here. The order tools are up here. I could bring this one to the front. I could send it to the back. I could bring it up just one. So now it just got in front of here and then I could take it down just one. Anyways, these are little tools that are very fun to go along with. So what I want to do is I want to move my sheets right under the tip of this oval, but then I also want it to line up flush with the bottom of this one, right? And you're going to see our toilet paper roll is about to take shape. Your best friend is right here. This is the edit points. Hope you guys could follow my mouse. This is the edit points button. I don't know what to call that. All right. And so now you can see, when I have my select tool clicked, you don't see any points, right? When I click on the edit points and I select it, you'll see these points come up. Now you could just click one and drag it, and you could do whatever you want to it. All right. I'm going to hit Control Z to undo. So I have my edit points tool. Now, when I hover over the edge of a line, you'll see that there we go. You'll see that I get this little thing, right? The cursor changes, and you might have to put your face really close to the computer. Anyways, I hope you guys can see my cursor. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hover over the line, I'm gonna click on it, and now it's created a new point that I can edit. It's kind of a harsh point. So what I like to do, and we're gonna go over here, open the modify panel. We're going to use that in a minute. So you see right here, I forgot that it moved to the top. there's a couple things you could do. If I hover over this right here, you'll say convert shapes, it'll make them smooth. So what I do is I click that, and then now, select this point. There we go. This curvy one makes it a curve. So now I can drag it, and you see these little handles that come across? That allows you to kind of adjust your curve. So I'm going to adjust my curve to where it's just going to create a little distance from here. All right, I want it to be even, and I don't want it too far from the original shape. And then I'm going to click another one right here, and I'm going to make that one curve as well. So this one, we're just going to like follow it along. It's even. There we go. And now you can see our toilet paper roll is taking shape. So I created a little distance from the top roll. The next thing I'm going to do, and our toilet paper roll is taking shape, is I'm going to click and drag, right? I'm going to select both of these, and I'm going to hit the weld button. Now you see here on the modify panel, all these different things, they have different functions, and you can kind of see a little preview. Weld, you see that these two shapes became one. Subtract would mean that you subtract the front shape from the back shape. And if you hover your mouse over, by the way, you will see this. It'll give you a better explanation of what it does. For example, if I hit subtract, it's going to subtract the top from the bottom shape, leaving me with just that. I'm actually going to use that a little later. I don't need it right now. Undo. If I hit intersect, only the parts that are overlapping are going to stay behind. Again, we're going to use that a little later, but right now I just want to weld them. I just want them to be one shape. You see that? So now they're one shape. Our toilet paper roll is looking a little bit more like a toilet paper roll. All right, so now I want the bottom. That doesn't naturally look like how a toilet paper roll works. So I'm going to go to my edit points tool. This point, I'm going to convert this to a curve. So we want to kind of give the illusion that the roll is unwinding. Oh, there it is. By the way, I'm going to hit the delete key on my keyboard to get rid of a point that I don't want. There's another point right under it. Turn that one into a curve. There we go. And you could use like different things, like different parts of it. And now what I'm going to do, all right, this is a cool trick. I'm going to select points, right? Hold the shift key, all right? Hold the shift key and drag a box over points that you want to move at the same time. This is pretty cool, watch. So I have these 2 points. What I did, I'll do it again, is I'm going to drag the shift key. I'm going to hold the shift key, make a box over the points that I want to move, being just these 2, and now I can move them together. Now that I'm done, I want this one to have a little bit more of a curve to it, so I'm going to convert this to a curve. Oops. There we go. And, we're just going to add a little bit of flare here. This one, going to kind of give it a little bit of curve. All right, that's looking a little bit more like a toilet paper roll. It's not quite there yet. I'm going to copy and paste this shape. Now, one thing that I do want to point out is that we're just dealing with simple shapes and we're tweaking them to get a desired result. This one, I'm going to change colors. And another thing I really like to do is I like to use colors. I like to fill them in because it helps me visualize what I'm making, And then, okay, that looks more like a toilet paper roll. Here's one more trick I'm going to show you guys. We're going to get a line. Now you could draw lines in any direction, crooked, straight, whatever. If you ever want to draw a perfectly horizontal line and have it lock in place, or a perfectly vertical line and not have to worry about it, or sorry, to go vertical 45, 90, have it lock in place, hold the shift key. So all I'm doing, because otherwise it'll just be however you drag it. You hold the shift key, it'll stay perfectly vertical. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my shift key, and I'm going to draw a line almost the full width of this toilet paper roll. I'm going to go over here to line style, and I want this to be like a toilet paper roll. I'm going to go for this line style. I'm going to see here on thickness, I'm going to thicken that up a little bit. Maybe I want to go back here. I don't know. However, I mean, you guys are going to be the ones who have to weed this out, so that's up to you. However thick, however many little line dots you want to be dealing with, that's up to you. But fool with it. See what's going to work best for you. So now I'm going to go over here to modify, right? And I'm going to hit detach lines. And what that does is, so drawing a line, the computer is just going to read it as a line. So no matter what kind of line style you do, it's not really going to keep that until you detach the lines. And by detaching the lines, what you're doing is you're telling the computer that you don't want to just cut a line shape. You want it to actually be these little circles. So you have to detach lines. All right, and I do want to color these black just because it helps me, again, visualize. To copy and paste, those of you who may or may not know, it's just Control-C on your keyboard, Control-V, or sorry, Control-C on your keyboard, Control-V, and there. So I'm going to add another one. I'm just going to resize this one a little bit. And if we wanted to give it a little bit of perspective, I'm just going to make it a little crooked, or maybe it should go this way. Yeah, I think that's the direction. And that's the toilet paper roll. These are really popular, especially, with the, the whole everybody stay at home thing. There we go. Oh, sorry, there's one more thing to fill in space. And we're going to do this right now. I'm going to get my polygon, draw a regular polygon tool. I'm going to draw what's cool. So you draw your shape, right? And then you could change it to be however many sides you want. I love the triangles, right? So triangles, I'm going to convert it to a path. That's what I need. I'm going to fill it with the same color as my toilet paper roll. And there's one last thing. So this toilet paper roll looks good. This is like weird blank space right there. It's like, it's kind of bugging me. So what I'm going to do is I use triangles to fill in places like that all the time. And we're going to zoom in so you can see exactly what I mean. I'm going to click my point tool, and we are going to fill in. Now, this is just one of those extra steps to kind of make our graphic just look better. A little more professional detail. I'm going to add it right here. I'm going to add a smooth. Oh, there it is. There is this. I was looking for this. I'm going to make a curve, right? Just so it could match the curve of the thing. Just want to bend that just a little bit. Right? And just by adding that, now it looks like a little more complete. Now the toilet paper looks more full, and boom. And you guys could really make this however you want. There's so many different ways to do this, and this is just my version. So I encourage you guys to try it. Try your toilet paper roll as however you like. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do this. I'm going to right click and group it. You could also just hit Control G. And we're going to put this away for a second. This is what we're doing right now. We're doing softball/baseball transfer with ribbon. One thing that's very common is sports season is coming up. People need baseballs, people need softballs, and you can go pay for one. You can go, license a download, or you can make one yourself. And again, feel free to practice with these. Go through the webinar again, practice with these. But what's really cool is that you can really take these principles and apply them to anything. Even if you're not using Silhouette Studio, all of these vector editing tools, you got them in Inkscape, you got them in Illustrator, CorelDRAW, they're there. Hold an ellipse. Now, the ellipse, you can make it whatever shape you want. If you ever want a perfect circle, just hold the Shift key. Hold the Shift key and you have a perfect circle. Here's my perfect circle. I'm going to color it a light, whatever color you think that is. I think it's peach, whatever. That's going to be one. and then I need to make a copy. And the reason why I'm right clicking copy and paste is just so you can see the process. Copy and paste. Here's another thing I like to do is you want to make sure everything's nice and centered. Hover over here. You see that on the top? I'll do it again. Right here in the top bar. These are centering tools. So make sure all your graphics are centered. I'm pretty okay with eyeballing things as to center. But if, you know, there we go. Boom. Center. All right. One thing I'm going to do really quick here. Oh, sorry. I need to draw one more. These are going to be my stitches. I think that's going to be an okay size for stitching. I don't want to make them too small because then I want it to be an easy cut file. So that's my stitch. I'm going to make that a compound path, and then I'm going to make it red. Okay, now here's a cool tool. You see this? There we go. Replicate. Object on path. Show grab handle. All right, and this is cool. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to stick it onto this. Boom. That was pretty cool, huh? So all I did was you have to show the grab handle. You grab this grab handle, drag it onto the shape, and it's going to duplicate or replicate, I'm sorry, your shape. There it goes. Oh, I see. So this is the right. So now what I'm doing is there's these little edit points, right? How does this work? I forget how these edit points work. I'm just gonna do it the easy way. Sorry, guys. So what it does really is over here on the right, you can see number of repeats. I just increased that. I know there's a more precise way to do that, and my mind's just blanking at the moment. So I'm just gonna move these here. There we go. To where all of the repeats are lining up inside. And man, I am sorry, my mind literally is just blanking on this right now. So yeah, we want that. You just move it to they're nice and centered inside of your circle, right? You want to release copies. Okay. Now here's what I usually do is I'll drag and then all the copies that I don't want, I'm about to just delete those right now. But you see how I accidentally selected this? Check this out. Hold the shift key and click on shapes that you don't want to be selected. That easy, right? Or if you want to add something, you just click, hold the shift key and click. That's a fun trick. These, I don't want them. I'm going to delete them. And now for this, my bottom circle, we're going to go over here back to line style. Oops. And just a regular straight thick line. And I just want to thicken it out to where it looks like that's what the scene would be. So we're just going to keep going until it looks, you guys see it now? It's looking more like a baseball, huh? Boom. You're going to hit detach lines, which again, I need to do in order to make this red line my line. Also, I don't need this circle anymore. Here's what I'm going to do. I don't need this. So I needed to grab all of these little stitches and my main circle. I'm going to weld them together. And this is where, again, copy and paste is going to be very essential. I'm going to copy. I'm going to paste. And here's where we got to do something really cool. Now, this doesn't look perfectly centered. So there we go. Just going to shift that over a little bit. Actually, these stitches might be coming up a little high. Maybe you want them a little bit lower. Who knows? It's up to you guys. I'm going to bring my stitches a little bit lower because I have something I want to go in the middle. This is where you get to take artistic liberty. I'm not 100% sure where the stitches would be exactly, but once we do this, people, they'll get it. People will understand. So I'm going to hold the shift key and click this circle. So now both of these are selected. And we're going to hit the intersect tool or button, whatever you want to call it. So only the parts that are overlapping. So I just want to keep these stitches. I don't need the rest of this dumb circle. So I'm going to hit intersect and boom. I can get this out of the way because now That's how you do stitches. Just copy that, you paste it. Oh, here's another cool thing with the shift key. When you're rotating and you hold the shift key, it'll snap in place. I'm just gonna line these up right here. Boom. So here's my baseball. I'm gonna group these together just so that way they can stay in place. So now, boom. All right. Now, I did say that we're doing softball, baseball champs with ribbon. Ribbons are cool. And disclaimer, there are free ribbons in Silhouette in your library. You get 100 free shapes when you get Silhouette. Everybody has them. We all have these. What I mean in library, you go to, it should be under recent downloads or whatever. There's already a baseball there, you know, but here's the thing, these are not yours. Now, you're free to use them, don't get me wrong, but if you want to create a design to sell, that's up to you. Like this banner right here, I call it a ribbon, it's a banner, whatever. These are not free. I mean, these are 100% free for you to use. However, they're not yours to distribute, the cut files. So if you wanted to create a cut file to maybe sell it, make a little extra money, you know, you can't use those. Those are someone else's designs. So while you're free to make your t-shirts with them, you're not free to resell those cut files. Please don't. So if you want, so maybe that's something you're interested in, or you just want your own thing. You just want to create it yourself. You want to practice being a designer. You want to get into, you know, creating vector art for t-shirts. This is the way to go. You definitely want to get into the habit of creating your own graphics. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create your banner. I'm just going to, again, eyeball it here. It's for a Champions t-shirt, right? And I'm going to fill in my banner because that's what I do. And I don't need it that tall. I kind of want it to sit in between the stitches so we don't lose any of those cool stitches that we spent so much time working on. And I do want this to be a little wider. Now, one thing I love to do is hold shift, right? Select both of these, and I just want to center them. There we go, they're centered. Making a banner is really easy. And you remember how I said I like to use my triangle tool for everything, right? You're just gonna draw any shape, drag this little slider bar down. Here, I'll zoom in so you can see what I mean. When you draw something with the polygon tool, oops, I scrolled too far. You can have it be as many sides as you want. I like using the triangle to fill in a lot of things and create dimension. So I'm just gonna make that a compound path, or, you know, just so that way it's a shape that I can use. And I'm gonna fill it in with a different color. We're gonna scroll down, and here's what we do with this right here. Check this out. I'm probably gonna edit it again in a second, but this is where we create our dimensions. So, excuse me, I'm gonna double click it. Also, double clicking will get you to the edit point section. Just gonna do a little bit of this and a little bit of this. And I'm not holding the shift key or anything. This is just kind of me eyeballing it to make sure that the lines are straight. You might want to edit it further if that's your deal. There we go. That looks close enough to me. I'm gonna zoom out just a hair. And I'm actually gonna copy, even though this is a big, wide triangle. No, I'm not gonna copy it. Let's do things the hard way. Just gonna create a new one where I want this second part of the banner to be. I'm gonna color it the same as my main banner. And now I can edit it. So here is where it's cool. I'm gonna drag it off, create a little bit of a distance between. I don't want it this high, so I'm gonna kind of shrink it down. Now this is gonna be where you kind of have to mess with things and figure out what's gonna work best for you. Again, we're going back to our edit points. I'm gonna create a point right here. And I'm gonna pull it in a little bit to create that banner look. All right, now if you want to give it a little bit of perspective, what you could do is you could get these, hold the shift key, select these 2 points, and you can kind of just drag it up a little bit, drag it down a little bit. You are gonna have to readjust this point to kind of fit. That's okay. Not bad, right? This one, actually, let's zoom in. So this is a little off now, but no worries. We're gonna double click it, edit points, and we're just gonna line it up to match. No, that's not perfect. It's still a little off. Anyways, please adjust to your desired level of perfection. Me, I'm just kind of showing you guys how to do it. You guys can line it up, measure, do whatever you want to make it yours, really. And so usually what you do is for the top of the banner, you make it like a lighter color. I think I want to so you make it like a lighter color, and then for the inside to kind of indicate shadow, that's going to be a little slightly darker color. But it's really up to you. Now, another thing you could do, you can move this if we really wanted to give it that cool perspective. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. I'm going to select these, and I'm just going to bring these out a little bit. There we go. Right? This is where the offset tool comes in. The offset tool is this little star with a line around it. We're going to hit offset. And I want my corners to be sharp. I'm going to bring it down a little bit to where the top lines up. Right there. This is another thing you could do. You could just bring your shapes on and then do the offset to cut it out afterwards. That's totally your deal. I do want to bring it to the front because I'm going to cut it out of that. Boom. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get these, hit Control G to group them, copy, paste, flip horizontal, and then just bring it over to the other side. If you want to be really diligent about this, you can center them both horizontally. And then just kind of with the arrow, I'm using the arrow keys on my keyboard to just kind of shift them, nudge them a little bit. And that's going to do it for me. So now we have our baseball champs with banners. And then, of course, knock yourselves out. Or we could just put, oops, 2020 champs, but we're going to do this in a font color that we can read and a font that we actually enjoy. Will this work? Maybe it will. It's okay. I'm going to wild text, group them, and I do want to center them together with this. So there you go, 2020 champs. Now this is something that you can create. I'm just going to group everything together for the sake of being diligent. I'm going to zoom in on it so you guys can all see it right now. This is our softball baseball champs with banner. So now you know how to create a banner, you know how to create a baseball. And now look, when somebody comes to you and they want a t-shirt for their kids, you could charge them like, hey, like, yes, you could download it, that's fine. But if you're going to be making a bunch of these, you can have your own graphic and then also spend a little bit more time on it, make it a little bit prettier than this one. This is just kind of showing you the basics of how we use different shapes, put them together to create complex shapes and things that you could sell. Maybe you saying, okay, oh, dude, Jared, you're dumb. Like I could make that way better than you. Dude, please, by all means. I'm seriously, I'm not even joking. Like I would love to see your versions of this and how you fancied it up. Maybe you want to, oh, you know what else you could do too? Sorry, one thing here really quick. You could also, I'm going to copy and paste a new circle. You could add some stars to it if you want to. I think I had some stars. Oh, by the way, if you want to ever expand from center, hit Alt and Shift while dragging out. And I want this circle to land. Let's give it some transparency so we can see where we're at. I want this circle to land like right off the baseball, but kind of in between the banner. Now I could show you how to make your own star. Maybe I will. This is a 5-star. This is a pentagon. We're just going to make that into a compound path. And whoops. This is how you make your own. So there's a star in the library. Please do yourself a favor, just get that star. It's going to be a lot easier than this. But what we would do is if you want to know how to make your own star, just in between all the points, pull them up. Now, it's not going to be perfectly straight. This is the wonkiest, stupidest star I've ever seen in my life. But, you know, if you have more time, you can, you know, you can make yours not so ugly and stupid. I think this is, that's a little better. It's still dumb, but it's not the worst star I've ever seen in my life. And I guess that's going to have to do for this. So I'm going to color this one yellow, right? And again, what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate on path or object on path. We're going to show the grab handle. Actually, I do want this star to be a little smaller. There we go. Let's show the grab handle. I'm going to put it on here. Boom. I don't want that many repeats, so I'm going to lower my number, give them a little bit of space to breathe. All right. And I want my stars to be kind of like so. There we go. I think that's going to work. And then we just release copies. I don't want this copy. I don't want this copy. And then this circle that we had made, we don't need that circle anymore. If that's a little too many stars, we can just kind of, you know. And I'm just clicking and hitting the delete button on my keyboard. You could also right click to delete if you wanted to. And then, but the rest of these stars, I do want to put them into a group. I want them to be together. I mean, you can just pull it off the baseball a little bit. We're gonna group everything back together so you can see it. Boom. So I'm gonna put this away for a second. We have one more that we want to do. I'm just gonna put this down here with our toilet paper roll that we just did. And if you're just tuning in and you missed that, don't worry. You can go and watch the replay right here, heat.press/webinar replay. Type that into your browser. That'll take you to our channel where we have all of our, or I should say most of our past replays there that you guys can check out on heat.press/webinar replay. All right, we're going to make our skull and crossbones. Now for this one, I'm going to cheat just a little bit. I did want to show you guys the basics of creating something as complex as a skull and crossbone, but I'll admit I'm not the very best graphic artist. These are, you know, again, I'm using simple shapes. We are going to use simple shapes for our skull and crossbones, but you know, I'm not the best. So what I did was I went on Shutterstock and I picked the skull and crossbones that I like. And I'm going to use it as reference because I'm not the best at graphic design. Let's go ahead and get to our skull and crossbones. Like I said, I downloaded one as a reference. So I'm just going to use it to make sure that mine, I'm not going to trace it. Now, here's the thing. You're saying, wait, why wouldn't you just trace it? Because tracing it is not making your own. Tracing it, like if I trace this, I could not resell it. I could not, even though I license this, I can't resell a cut file, even if it's traced, because that's cheating. That's unethical. Now, using it as a reference point, that's a little bit different because I'm still doing all the work of creating my own design. So here we're going to start out with a circle, right? It doesn't have to be a perfect circle. In fact, I'm going to make it a little bit wider, right? Then I'm going to go to my draw a rounded rectangle, right? And I'm just going to kind of willy-nilly, and let's zoom in a little bit. I'm just going to kind of willy-nilly make it, and you can drag these little circles to see how round it gets. You know. All right. Now, what I do want to do is I want to weld these. And then I'm going to fill them in. There we go. And I mean, this is not as good as this one, but you know, we're getting a little close. I can add here. And this is definitely something you want to practice. You want to practice how you're going to use your own shapes to make your own stuff. All right. So I'm going to get a little bit of this. I'm going to round it out a little bit. Maybe I already want it to be darkened. There we go. See what I'm doing. Now I do want this to, and I should have centered all the individual pieces. Oh well, sue me. Just kidding, don't sue me, guys. I'm sorry. And then I'm gonna weld these together again. And now I can get my, now you can either do rounded circles, rounded rectangles if you want for the eyes and edit them later. You can get a circle and tweak it. I prefer to get a circle and tweak it. And I'm just gonna make one eye, all right? Color it white, color it red, whatever, do whatever you wanna do. And I'm gonna double click it to, oh, whoops, you gotta be in the select tool. Zoom in a little closer. I'm gonna double click it so I can kind of tweak it, right? And all I'm doing is this little handle that controls the curve. I'm just kind of screwing it up a little bit. Just giving it a little bit of perspective. Maybe this is a happy. All right. I'm going to copy. I'm going to paste. And I'm going to flip horizontally. And what in the world? I think I'm having a little bit of a, I think I got a skull on my hands almost. Now these eyes are a little bit big, but maybe that's your style. Maybe you want like a stylized skull. You know, maybe you want it to have like, maybe he looks a little weird. Maybe he's giving the stink eye, you know? Maybe your skull is giving a stink eye. You know, make this one a little bit more imposing a little bit. This skull, he's tripping out, man. Whoa, his eyes are weird. I don't know. Make your skull however you want, really. At the end of the day, it's yours. Do whatever you want with it, like, you know, and stylize it however you want. Now this, maybe you want his head to be a little bit more like Frankenstein or something like that. You know, you can, it's just subtle moves like this are gonna make it your own. You're gonna make it your own style. Now here's one cool tip that I learned is copy this, right? And I just did Control V. I'm gonna rotate it, right? This is how we're gonna make our nose. I'm gonna thin it out. Right, just make it exactly what I want. And then I'm just gonna hit Control C, Control V, right click, flip horizontal. And that's how you make a nose. Right? You just kind of tweak the eyes a little bit. I do want these to be flat and level. I'm gonna group them together. Now I have a nose for my skull. Now you can see here, this skull, even though I used this one as a reference point, my skull already is a little bit more cartoony, a little bit more weird, a little bit more quirky, and that's kind of the point. You can use things as reference, but you do not trace it. Like that's, I mean, that's pretty much stealing. All right, so we have our quirky little weird skull. And if you wanted to just further edit, you could make his, you know, you could just drag these out a little bit. Now he looks too weird. I don't like that. I'm gonna Control Z, Apple Z. All right. Now we need to make the crossbones, and so for the crossbones, I like to just do this, right? And we'll resize it later. I'm going to fill this in so it helps me see. Okay. Check this out. I'm going to tilt this one a little bit, right? I just did a copy and paste, and I want to flip this vertically. Okay, I'm gonna get these. Sorry, I'm trying to think about how I want to do this. And I'm going to weld them. Copy or paste. Flip horizontally. I'm gonna select them both. And again, to select them both, you click one, you hold Shift, and you click the other. These do have to be centered, okay? And I'm just gonna draw a bone in between them. Fill it in. I don't, okay, see that's not thick enough, so I'm gonna get this. I do wanna make it a little bit thicker. And again, this is stylized way different. Like this is like cartoony, like the rounded dog bone. This, my edges, as you can see, are a little bit more like squarey, which is cool because it's giving it a little bit more. And I'm gonna pull this out. You do kind of want you want these to be longer than you think. And I want these to all be centered so they look good. That's good enough for me. I'm going to weld them. This looks almost like a Tootsie Roll. So you probably, you know, here, no, we want to do things right. Gonna stretch it out a little bit so that way, you know, this curve doesn't show up. Probably should have just used a regular rectangle for this, but anyways, weld these again. I'm gonna size it to how I want it. And across these bones right here. Now, all we do is we copy, we paste, we flip horizontally, select them both, and then you could use this tool right here. This will perfectly center them in both directions. And you could do two things. You can weld them and make them a single piece, right? Right there. Now these are not the best bones in the whole world. I probably should have rounded out my end pieces a little bit, but hey, it's a style, you know? You can just say that it's a style. Another thing you could do is, again, we're gonna undo. There we go. On your top layer, what you can do is you can create an offset. We're going back to our offset tool. I don't want my offset that big, just a little bit. That should be okay. I'm going to hit apply. And while it's still selected, my offset, I'm going to hold the shift key and click on my under layer. Subtract, boom. You could do that too. That is entirely up to you. I want to make these or group them, whatever. It's entirely up to you. But now we have, you know, these bones. I'm not happy with the way the crossbones turned out. Please, if you're gonna try this, spend a little bit more time making your crossbones. I mean, I don't think they're horrible, but they're not that cool. I guess one thing I could do is I could pinch the middle, make it a curve. Oh my goodness. Wow. That was just a dumb idea. I'm not sure why I did that. I suppose you could just make it like pinch it in, I guess, a little. I don't know. I think I'm making it worse now. But yeah, that's how we're doing our skull and crossbones today. I like the way my skull came out. It has kind of this quirky, cool feel, and maybe we just don't need the crossbones today. Do a little bit better when you guys make your own crossbones. I know I could have done it better. I guess I was in a hurry because we're at the hour mark, which is usually when we like to let you guys go. I no longer need this for my reference. Here is my skull and crossbones. And we're going to show you guys everything. You can take everything you learned today and apply it in Illustrator, in CorelDRAW, in SignMaster, pretty much any vector graphic design software. Again, if you missed it, the whole thing I wanted to show you guys today was how easy it is to make whatever you want with basic shapes. We did all of these with basic shapes available here in Silhouette Studio. You just got to kind of open your mind to how you can arrange those shapes to get whatever it is that you want. So there we go. If you missed the beginning or any portion of it, you want to see old webinars, that's cool. heat.press/webinar replay. Just type that up into your browser and you'll be there. All right, guys. I'm a little bit over time. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. I really appreciate it. That's going to do it for me today. Again, watch the replay at heat.press/webinar replay. Join our Facebook group at heat.press/FB group. My name is Jared Barbosa. It's been a pleasure. I'm here Tuesdays and Thursdays. On Thursday, we're live on Facebook and YouTube. So it's not a webinar format like this, but we do share our favorite posts of the week. So you want to check that out. Go to our YouTube channel and all that stuff. All right, that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for joining. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I hope you have a great day. See you.